Griffiths, and I'm the Director of Workforce Development, responsible for employment services and training here at Goodwill Career Center.
Can you provide a brief history of your organization?
Sure. Goodwill's been around since the early 30s here in London. They started out in a church basement, like a lot of organizations do, and since then have grown to the point where now we employ about 530 people. Our mission is work. So our goal is to try to get everybody working. We believe that individuals and families and communities function better when everybody has an opportunity to access employment. And we do that in a couple of different ways. One is by providing jobs. We have our Goodwill stores, we have our Pivotal center, we have the cafe downstairs, and those are all different ways that we create employment for people. But just as importantly for this conversation, I think we also have the Career Center. And that's the place where we help people who have lost their job to come in. We provide a very welcoming, a very professional environment where people can get the help that they need to get back on their feet and get the next job that they need, maybe get some new skills, maybe help to decide what their next job is going to be, just whatever is needed in order to get back to work as quickly and as effectively as possible.
Okay. Can you walk us through the intake process? What does somebody accessing your services need to know?
Sure. Basically, they need to know our phone number, 519-850-9000, and you can either press 3 for employment services or 0 for a switchboard, and tell the person, I've lost my job and I need help, and they will say, you have absolutely called the right place. And from there, it's maybe a couple of moments on the phone just to clarify a little bit of information about your situation. And we have several intake processes depending on what the person's situation is and what their particular needs are during that telephone conversation. We would make an appointment for you to come in and either attend an information session about our services or possibly to meet one-on-one with one of our facilitators to have a more in-depth discussion about what your needs and your goals and your concerns are. During that intake process, the idea is to create an action plan. So we find out what are your needs, what are your goals, and we develop a plan and we try to connect you with the services either here at Goodwill or in the community that you need so that you can move forward in the best possible way. And then we would, after the intake, we would help you to go through that plan. We would keep in touch, provide whatever supports and advice and encouragement you need so that you can keep moving forward.
Okay. One last question. What do you find most rewarding about your job?
I find it very rewarding. There's so many things. When somebody comes back to me years after I've worked with them and they tell me about how their life has gone since they've been, struggling and coming in, getting help at Goodwill, and if their life is back on track or they're in a good place and they're just enjoying themselves and feeling good about themselves, that to me is the ultimate reward. When people are doing well. Sometimes people will tell me about their families and their kids have gone back to school, or they're just, life is going well for people. And when you're in the midst of that crisis, it's hard to imagine, a couple of years or a few years down the road when things are back on track and things are doing okay. But I always have that in my mind that, these are temporary setbacks. And as long as people can get the help they need, they can get the encouragement they need, things generally end up well. And it's very rewarding to be part of that process of helping people get their lives back on track.
Great.